What if I told you that there is knowledge you can possess that protects you from harm, injustice, and unseen consequences, if only you know how to use it? Every day, we navigate a world filled with uncertainty. Corruption and deceit lurk behind institutions we trust. Hidden dangers threaten our communities, our families, and us as individuals. Too often, victims suffer in silence simply because they lack the tools to defend themselves. But there is a truth most people overlook. Knowledge is the greatest form of protection. It's stronger than any security system, more reliable than legal loopholes, and more powerful than political influence. Tonight, we explore how knowledge the right kind can shield you, guide your actions, and align you with justice. This is time for justice. Let's talk about the power of knowledge in a world of injustice. Knowledge isn't just about collecting information. True, protective knowledge provides something more profound. It gives you awareness, the ability to recognize threats before they fully materialize. It offers discernment, helping you distinguish truth from deception, and genuine intentions from mere appearances. It empowers strategic action, showing you how to respond effectively when you're faced with injustice. And most importantly, it grants you moral clarity, an understanding of right and wrong that goes beyond human law. Injustice thrives in ignorance. Corruption flourishes when victims don't recognize they are being manipulated. The truth nobody talks about is this: those who possess knowledge act from a position of power. Even when the world seems chaotic and out of control, knowledge equips you to prevent harm, reduce your exposure to danger, and strengthens your ability to stand firm for the truth. Now, let's think of knowledge as a shield against harm. Protective knowledge allows you to see the hidden patterns in the world and anticipate consequences before they happen. For example, legal awareness, understanding your rights, the laws, and correct procedures prevents you from being exploited. Social insight helps you recognize corrupt behavior, hidden agendas, or dangerous influences, shielding you from manipulation. Spiritual awareness is another crucial layer. When you recognize the moral and karmic implications of actions, you protect your own energy and your life's path from negative forces. And then there's practical preparedness. Knowledge about your environment, your available resources, and personal safety strengthens your defense against physical harm. The truth nobody talks about is that ignorance leaves you vulnerable and exposed. Knowledge, on the other hand, creates a shield that no human force or deception can ever penetrate. This brings us to the deep connection between knowledge and justice. Knowledge is the very foundation of justice. Victims who understand their rights are empowered to take action instead of suffering in silence. Communities that are informed about corruption can prevent exploitation before it takes root. Witnesses who are armed with evidence and awareness can support accountability and ensure that wrongdoers are held responsible. And this extends to universal justice, what we call the karma of justice. This universal law operates far more effectively when people act with awareness. You see, justice doesn't rely solely on courts and legal systems. Knowledge ensures that the truth is seen, recorded, and acted upon. With awareness, you can properly document wrongdoing. Knowledge then guides you on how to present that evidence and advocate for accountability in the most effective way. By understanding karmic principles, you can align your actions with moral law, ensuring that justice is reinforced on a universal scale. The truth nobody talks about is this: knowledge transforms victims into powerful catalysts for justice, even when human systems fail them. But protection isn't only about physical or legal threats. There are invisible forces and unseen consequences for every action and inaction. Think about karma. Every harmful act, big or small, leaves an imprint that eventually returns to its source. There are no exceptions. The energy of a place or a community is also affected. Dishonest or unethical behavior infects communities and individuals in subtle but damaging ways. And there are spiritual consequences. The universe records our intentions, not just our actions, creating outcomes that transcend any human intervention. Knowledge of these principles allows you to recognize potential risks before they manifest. It helps you align your actions to avoid negative consequences for yourself and others. It shields you and your loved ones from harm that is not immediately visible to the naked eye. It helps you understand the true moral weight of every decision you make. The truth nobody talks about is that knowledge is the ultimate protection, because it makes you aware of threats that cannot be seen by our ordinary senses. So, how do we acquire and use this knowledge for protection? It requires conscious effort and a commitment to ethical alignment. First, study universal laws. Understand how actions generate consequences that go far beyond human systems of justice. Learn about the principles of cause and effect, of karma. Second, observe human behavior. Learn to identify the patterns of deceit, manipulation, and hidden agendas. People often reveal their true intentions through their actions, not their words. Third, document and record everything. Keep evidence and track events accurately. This supports accountability and ensures the truth can be proven. Fourth, seek guidance. Find courses, mentors, and communities that are dedicated to justice. Amplifying your awareness is easier when you're not alone. Finally, and most importantly, you must act with integrity. Knowledge is completely ineffective if it's not applied correctly. Your actions must always align with truth, morality, and the principles of justice. The truth nobody talks about is that protective knowledge is not passive. It is active, it is deliberate, and it must be aligned with universal law. By mastering it, you ensure that harm cannot easily claim you, and injustice cannot prevail unchecked. This is time for justice. Let's bring it all together. In a world filled with deceit, corruption, and hidden dangers, knowledge is your ultimate shield. It protects you against harm, whether it's visible or invisible. It empowers victims and witnesses to stand up for justice. It aligns human action with universal accountability. The principle is clear. Knowledge is not optional. It is the foundation of protection, the most powerful weapon against injustice, and the key to surviving and thriving in a morally complex world. So, act wisely, observe keenly, and always align yourself with the truth. Because knowledge protects you, and it ensures that justice, in all its forms, will ultimately prevail. This is time for justice. If this made you think, subscribe. Truth needs witnesses.